Namaste everyone. This is the first part of our handstand preparation series. We're going to be working on core strength, and what you're going to need today are a couple of blocks, a wall and a fitball if you've got one. I hope you do. If not, Kmart, anywhere, cheap to get and very essential for getting strong to do great handstands. We're going to start in a very relaxed position. This is the Supta Baddha Konasana, the reclining butterfly. So I'm starting off in quite a conservative way. I've got my knees out. I've got my shoulder blade. I've got the one block all the way down my spine between my shoulder blades. And my head is on a block. This is suitable if you've got any issues with your neck. If there are no issues with your neck, just relax back and let the chest and heart open for about 5 gentle breaths. Anybody who knows the hero pose, Virasana, can also do this in hero pose. And if you want to bring your block one level up, even higher, it gives you a much deeper back bend and is much more challenging. But I'm showing the middle level today. Take 3 gentle more breaths. And 2. And we will get cracking on our first core exercise. So if you've got any issues with your neck here, interlace your fingers behind your head and start to curl up, crunch. So what I do, so my legs don't fly up, I have to actually crunch my spine all the way into the block. I get to that point and then I'm home and hosed. And we're going to go forward. We're going to do this 3 more times. So I'm going to curl and try and stay in control. Try not to let my feet fly up. Feel like someone's standing on your knees and your feet. Going to slowly crunch back. The slower you go, the more effective the stretch. Remember, your head can be on a block. If you don't need your fingers interlaced behind your head, bring your arms straight behind, in line with your ears. Oops. And start to curl. Now you can stay at that level. My block can go down 1 more level, which make this a little bit trickier. Very good for your core. I'm going to curl back. So the core is actually this activity where you crunch your hips to your ribs. Most of us spend our lives with our bottoms sticking out. Got to scoop that tailbone under and crunch the hips to the ribs. At this point, my core has just switched on. I'm feeling it everywhere. And we're going to stretch forward and we're going to do this 1 more time. Exhaling back. And inhaling up. Good. Well done. So I'm moving the block away. I'm freeing the mat of all equipment. I'm going to come into some cat-cows. I've never really been a fan of exercise, but these are quite important. These are what my teacher taught me in order to get really strong handstands. I'm going to bring my shoulders over my knuckles and just get some mobility in the spine. So angry cat is this way. Happy cat is this way. Good. And then we're going to just stretch the left leg back and the right arm forward and do a few tiger curls. Crunch and then back. Roll the thigh in. Crunch and then back. Don't have a floppy back. Engage your back. You need a very strong back, and that connection between your back, your glutes and your hammies is going to be very integral for nailing the handstand. A few more of these. So after about 5, we're going to lengthen out here and bend the left knee and lift it up. And see if you can grab the foot with the right hand. Chest up and lift. And relax. Let's do our other side. Right leg back, left arm forward. You might find one side wobbles more than the other. So with these, start your curls, 5 of them. As I mentioned, if you're going quickly, you won't get the same effect as if you do them methodically and slowly. Exhale, inhale. So once you've got this balance, bend that length, that lifted knee and grab the foot. Great. So let's move into our plank. So this is one of the most important poses for a handstand. I'm going to show you when I'm teaching people yoga. When I see their plank, I can tell exactly what their inversions are going to be like. If they're like this, I can see no core is active. If they're like this, once again, no core is active, a little bit lack of awareness in the body, and shoulders over the knuckles, humping the shoulder blades, stretching and stretching, expanding through the trapezius, scooping the tailbone. This is the shape we need to master for good handstands. And let's move back to downward dog. Stretching it through for 3 breaths. So we're going to do a few planks, shoulders over the knuckles, scoop the tailbone, exhale, downward dog. Navel to spine as you exhale. Inhale, scoop. So when I say scoop, I want you to bring the navel to spine, tuck the hips in towards the ribs, scoop over and down. Do 2 more of these and we'll start to make them even more active in a moment. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, rolling. Exhale, good. Now ground your right foot and lift your left leg. You can bend the right knee if you don't have the flexibility yet. But if you're lifting the left leg, we're going to do our tiger curls. Inhale, knee to the shoulder, left shoulder, and exhale back. And to the shoulder, hold. This is such an important position. You're going to feel, if you're not strong in your neck and your shoulders, you're going to feel your neck and shoulders screaming here. And exhale back. And last one, inhale and exhale back. Already you can see that strength in the shoulders and hamstring flexibility ties in with the core for good handstands. So let's come to the other side. I've lifted my right leg and I'm going to tiger curl forward to the shoulder and exhale back. Over to the shoulder, exhale back. And last one, inhale, exhale. Great. Okay, now lower the right leg. Here's the next challenge. Can you lift your left leg? We're not lifting it too high. Don't collapse the right side of the body for the glory of lifting the left side. We're just going to lengthen through the right side. I'm going to shift the weight into my left hand and raise the right arm. It's tricky. Give it a go. You can prod yourself on your fingers or bring your right hand to your shin, but the final destination is by the hip. Great. Now here's the tricky one. Here's the challenge. Can you prod yourself on your left fingers, plant weight into the right thumb and toe, and lift the left leg? This can also be done on your knees. It's tricky, but you're going to need to master this in order to get, maybe not to get into the handstand. You'll be able to get into the handstand without these, but if you want handstand progressions like free balance or straight body handstands, you're going to need to be able to work with these opposite limbs. So right leg up, left arm up, left hand down, plant yourself down. See if you can raise through the right side of the body, right hand, right leg. Great, right hand down, and then come back to downward dog. And now walk the feet all the way to the wrists, folding down, exhale. If that's been strong on your shoulders, just interlace your fingers behind the head. Good. Hands to the hips and roll all the way up. Good. So what we're going to work on with the core is getting this idea of scooping the tailbone under and contracting hips to ribs. So our next challenge is a wall chair. It's not very yoga, it's quite Pilates, but it's a really good therapy exercise. I've got a very ridgy wall here, but let's see how we go. I'm going to see if I can glue my whole spine in. So when I'm teaching a class, I see people with really exaggerated curves in their back. So you've just really got to work your spine until you can almost, even if your tailbone lifts off the wall, you want to work towards gluing the whole back into the wall. And we're going to now try to lift our arms. Independent, we don't want to sway our body to lift the arms. We want to isolate the arms and maybe go for 3 or 4 breaths, up and down. 2, inhale. But my spine is glued to the wall. The only thing moving is the shoulder joint. 3 more. Bring those shoulder blades back into the wall. Watch those inner elbows work in towards each other. Flat hand. I see all funny things with people's hands gripping. You want the flat hand and extended. Let's try one more. So the next few core exercises are all about getting that movement where you scoop the tailbone under. So I teach children a lot, and I teach them handstands, and we always include dish pose in our practice. It's so important, not easy to do. I know that it used to really hurt my neck. So the trick was, as soon as I got the shoulder blades well off the ground, the neck stopped hurting. While my shoulder blades were on the ground, and I was only lifting up by my neck, there was always a strain. So we're going to keep the lower back on the ground and lift as much of the shoulder blades off. Once they're off, you can start to see if you can straighten your legs, and then straighten the arms behind and hold for at least 8 counts. You can interlace your fingers behind the head. You can have bent knees. And when you have finished your 8 breaths, hug the knees into the chest for a little moment. Just a few more drills. So let's see how that initial core work has started to affect the way we may go upside down. So here's our first upside down skill. It's called the Spider-Man handstand. I'm going to bring my hands down. I'm not going to walk my legs up too high, only 90 degrees. So if you're needy in the core, if you need to strengthen the core, your Spider-Man handstand might look like this. And we want to pull the tummy in. I want you to look between your feet. Actually, look to the sky between your legs if you can stretch your shoulders. Good. Pull your tummy in and take about 10 breaths upside down. If you can't hold for 10 breaths, it's because you're not using your core and the weight's in your shoulders and in your wrists. Eventually, there's a subtle shift from wrist to palm, and you can push the ground and lift yourself up. Take 5 more breaths. And just start to learn to breathe upside down. Sometimes when you've got different blood pressures, you can feel a little woozy, but if you just gently breathe in and out, high blood pressure, come down every 1 or 2 breaths. Lift your head up and then go back in. Low blood pressure, just learn to go upside down. Okay, so this one's a fun one, and this one is one that's going to take a lot of practice. I remember when my teacher first gave it to me, I thought he was joking. I really didn't think anybody could do it, but if you practice, you get it. You always get better. So we're going to come into a plank. But what I often see is this kind of stuff. So we really want to avoid this. This is exactly what we're working to improve. And we're also trying not to have the bottom too high up. I'm going to just do my plank on the fitball. And here is the challenge for the day. We're going to bring ourselves up into a pike. Now watch my neck. My neck and my shoulders have to be super strong. And then coming back. This is why it's really hard to work out whether to do the shoulder video first or the core video. They all interlink. And as you can see, if you don't have strong hamstrings, you're going to be bending your knees, or your legs are going to get to here. So all 3 aspects are vital to getting that movement. As you can see, if you can get your bottom high enough, you could virtually float up. But if you can't float up yet, just lift one leg up and then down Other leg up. And then down. Try and come back with control. Do any variation you like. And you can have some fun with it. Okay. So that's our fitball exercises. You might need to stop the video and practice that for a few weeks. The last challenge is also a test for your core, and this is walking all the way into the wall. This is tricky, but with practice, once again, you get it. So if your handstand looks like this, you're going to struggle. You've really got to get that idea of pulling your navel to spine, using your legs. You want to be as flat towards the wall as you can. I've got a very rocky wall here, but if you've got a wall at home, you want your forehead and your nose, your lower ribs, your quads, and your toes at the wall. Some strong people get close to the wall, but look like this. You've got a bit of work to do to bring your forehead in and tuck in and do that dish shape. It's not that easy to jump down, but give it a go. And that's your core sequence for this video. Practice a few of these every day and you'll start to get stronger. You'll notice it immediately, and then go on to strengthening up the shoulders.